Again, terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of Naw Fam. This is the show where all your barbershop debates go to meet their epic conclusion. Brought to you by the Embrace a Turn Up Podcast Network. I am your host. I am not humble, so I'm not going to say the oh so humble. I am A-Dub. Some people call me the tribal chief. For this, I will just be your guide through this journey of hot takes. And joining me is my guy, my brethren, the fam, the always wrong, my homie
What's
Tyre.
up, Aaron? How you doing today, sir?
He broke out the government. I can already see.
Well, first of all, you came out and called yourself the tribal chief. Then you already made an error on your first time talking. Barber top. You getting barber top now? You got the strip clubs and the barbershop.
You see the vision. See, you see the vision. See,
we're gonna open up a barbershop and call it barber top.
Off rip.
That's gonna be the move. Okay.
You saw the vision. Yep. See, once it's take off, boom, stripper barbershop. Call it barber top.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
I'm a fan.
We'll have you on the commercials.
Kinda.
Okay, Peter Griffin, calm down. Not really. You masquerading as one, and it's fine. It's totally fine. It's totally fine.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. First hot take of the day, of the show, of the millennium. The Browns messed up their quarterback situation. 100%. They are paying almost $40 million to two guys who will not play for them next year. It's the way they handled the Baker thing, the sneaky way they got Deshaun Watson in there and said, "Oh, we'll just pay you this money, pay you most of it the next few years because we know you're gonna sit out this whole year because you a nasty ass nigga." Browns screwed up their quarterback situation, and you guys are just gonna have so much fun with Jacoby Brissett. I can't wait. Am I tripping or no?
Nah, fam, you tripping. First of all, you said sneaky way that they got Deshaun Watson. What was sneaky about it?
Sneaky the way they did his contract, not the way they got him. The way they got him, they just mortgaged their entire future. Which, hey,
okay,
I get it.
So are you talking about? You're referring to the $1 million in cap space for next year, right? Okay, let's look at the facts on that. $1 million in cap space next year also goes to Devontae Adams. What was sneaky going on in Oakland?
It's Oakland. Everything's sneaky over there.
What about the $1 million in cap guarantees when they readjusted the contract for Amari Cooper? Any allegations on him?
Again, it's Oakland.
No, so could this be that?
No, not that I know of. You
closer to it than I am. Anything, sir. But could it be that all these NFL teams are renegotiating contracts to push down when the salary cap will potentially increase within the next few years?
Nah. I just think the Browns did some shit because they knew they wasn't going to have a quarterback next year.
Well, let's talk about it. Okay, so you're saying that they're paying $40 million for two quarterbacks not to play for them next year. You really believe that Deshaun Watson's getting suspended for the entire year?
I mean, it sounded like they're going to – I mean, they might appeal it. He might not get the whole year, but it sounded like they're going to put their hammer down on the indefinite suspension. And truthfully, the Browns might be happy with the year. Yeah. That's what I'm.
Okay.
That's kind of what I've been hearing.
Well, let's break this down. First of all, there was nothing sneaky about the way that they got Deshaun Watson. Multiple teams wanted him. Multiple teams vetted him. Multiple teams were interested. Everything that's leaking out now is just the results of teams not getting him. It's almost like you you trying to holler at a girl and the girl saying no to you. And you're like, you ugly anyways. All those teams are just saying, no, Deshaun wasn't all that. They dropped the ball. You know what I mean? That's all it was. They dropped the ball.
No, I never dropped the ball.
Because all of those teams had deals that they agreed to when they tried to get them, that the Texans agreed with. So that means that all those teams offered multiple first-round picks. All those teams offered some type of compensation that met the requirement to get them. And you know what, Aaron? Let me ask you something. Dub. Who's your favorite team?
Oh, Detroit
Who's the
Lions.
starting
Detroit versus
quarterback for the
everybody.
Detroit
Come on now.
Lions?
Jared Goff as of
Would you
right now,
rather
sir.
have Jacoby Brissett at the $5 million cap space or Jared Goff at his $32 million cap space hit?
I'll take Jared Goff. I'll take Jared Goff. If you put stuff around Jared Goff, he can win you something. Jacoby Brissett has not proven he can win you something. He's proven he won't go out there and lose you games.
What has Jared Goff won? What did Jared Goff win the
But
Lions last year?
look, man, we should have won
But you
7
didn't.
games. We lost three. We lost 3 games on
Dub, I
game-winning
know.
field
Dub,
goals.
Dub, I
One of
know.
them a
Dub, I know where this is
NFL
going.
record. We should have
Dub, I
won
know where
7
this
games
is
last
going.
year.
I too had an 0-16 team, a 1-31 team over 2 years. There were multiple games that were won and lost by less than a touchdown. Trust me,
But look, man, we're
you're
rebuilding.
rebuilding and paying a
We're
quarterback
rebuilding. It's
$32
fine.
million.
It's fine.
That's a rebuild to you? $8 million
No,
more, and you might
that's
get
just
Deshaun
the
Watson.
tax. The
Would you rather have
no,
Deshaun?
no, the rebuild is the picks we got. The rebuild is the picks we got from Matthew Stafford. Remember the guy you said wasn't worth a
When you
first
pay
rounder?
$32 million per year with a $69 million cap space overall hit to your team, they better give you another first rounder. They didn't offer Matt Stafford straight up, did they? Did they offer Matt Stafford straight up?
No.
Why didn't they get Matt Stafford straight up?
I think we swapped like
For
fifths.
2 first rounders.
What? Because Matthew Stafford is a top 10 quarterback. You get more than 2 first
So
rounders
the
for a top 10
Lions
quarterback.
wanted Jared Goff, is what you're saying.
We just needed a quarterback for the time.
Johnny Manziel's a quarterback. What
and
do
they
you
looked around
mean?
at the market and it's like, again, they looked around at the market and said, well, we could do worse than just having Jared Goff for 2 years.
So
until
you're
we go
paying
get
them
our
$64
quarterback,
million.
which will
So you're
probably
okay
be
with
Bryce
that?
Young and CJ Stroud next year. Yeah. Yeah. Because he'll be there, and he's good enough to help our receivers and tight ends get better and not regress until we get our guy. Again, our guy being CJ Stroud or Bryce Young next year, because we have the ammunition to move up in the
So
draft.
what you're
This is always the
saying?
plan.
So what you're
Brad
telling
Holmes, we
me?
trust.
And I want you to look at me. Look at that camera. Look at that little peephole right there. Pretend on the other side is a beautiful Cassie Lee just looking. Look at that like you're look into it. I want you to tell me right now that paying $40 million a year for Deshaun Watson or $32 million a year for Jared Goff, which one are you taking? Which one are you taking?
So right now I'm taking Jared because Jared's going to play. That's why I'm taking Jared.
Deshaun's not going to play a game next year. We're recording this, right?
I don't think so.
I want you to save that tape.
Yes. Deshaun Watson is not playing
in the game for the
next
2022
year.
season for the Cleveland Browns. Gotcha. Duly noted.
Correct.
Duly noted. Now, do you want to go on to Baker Mayfield?
Correct.
Because that's what we're supposed to be talking about. We want to talk about with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, let's. Yeah, a conditional 5th rounder for a guy you took number 1 overall. No wonder you thought Stafford wasn't worth a first. Nobody in Cleveland can clearly evaluate quarterbacks. I totally get it now. Conditional 5th?
Mm-hmm.
Conditional 5th. That could turn to a 4th if he starts, like 70% of the game?
For a quarterback that just came off torn labrum surgery.
He's like 25. A torn labrum isn't a death sentence the way it used to be in the 60s.
So how come Jimmy
now.
Garoppolo isn't traded with the same injury?
Look, I don't know. It's something
What's
weird
with
Jimmy.
Wait, hold on. Don't
really
say anything weird about Jimmy. Jimmy's the man. We're going to save that part of the conversation for later on in the show
GOAT.
when we talk about goated quarterbacks outside of this field.
Yes. No, I'm just saying, like, I think there's just this weird perception around Jimmy in the league that it was all his coach and it was never Jimmy. So that's why Jimmy isn't traded yet. But again, A conditional fifth for Baker, a guy you took number one
You
overall.
take
Y'all couldn't get a
what you
third
can
out of
get,
that.
and what they're offering is a conditional fifth, and that speaks to Baker's
You couldn't
injury
get a.
from last year. And what you want to do as a Cleveland Browns is clear the space, clear the decks from that 18 million. You save $8 million. Baker clearly reworked his deal to be able to play for Carolina next year, and you move on. You go for broke when you go for your quarterback. Didn't you just say that when the Rams traded for Matthew Stafford? Didn't they go for broke to get their quarterback?
Yeah, it
Okay.
worked out for him too because they got a top 10
And
quarterback in the
Deshaun
Super
Watson
Bowl.
is not a top 10 quarterback?
Deshaun Watson is a top 10
Okay.
quarterback, but
Will
he
he be
won't be
playing
next year
in
because he won't be playing.
2023?
Your
Will he
best
play in
ability is playability.
2023?
Yeah,
So either way, Deshaun
yeah,
Watson is going to be playing football for the Cleveland Browns, in your opinion. And you go for broke with a player
yeah.
like
At some
that.
point. Damn, so you paying a guy $80 million for 1 year of football? That's nuts. That's
Do
nuts.
you have access?
I mean, I get it. I get it.
Is Jimmy and D Haslam's money in your back pocket? Is this what's bothering you? They're billionaires.
No,
Would
no,
you judge them if they
I'm
bought
good.
a Rolls Royce that they're just sitting out
My
for a
pocket's
year?
flush.
It's
Yes, it
not
still
your
would
money.
probably.
It ain't yours. Quit pocket watching.
I'm
Don't watch
just
Jimmy and
saying.
D.
I'm
Watch
just saying.
TV. Word to Jewels. You know better. You know better. Dub, come on, man.
Look, man, I'm just saying. 80 million
Dub,
for 1 year of
Dub.
football is
Did
nuts.
I ask you how much your
Just
chain
admit it.
costs?
Just admit it. They
Why should I
don't
worry
worry
about
about
your
my chain,
chain?
man. Don't worry
Why
about me.
shouldn't I
Don't
worry
worry about
about your
me over
chain?
here. Don't worry about me over here.
Why shouldn't I
I'm
worry about your
shiny. I'm
chain?
shiny. Just know that. How much are them shoes behind you cost? How much
This
that
is
Tom
not
Ford
Tom
suit
Ford, sir. This
cost?
is just Michael Kors.
Huh?
I'm not. I'm.
How much them
These are
diamond
not diamond
cufflinks
cufflinks. These
cost?
are
What about
Buffalo
them
nickel cufflinks.
Louis Vuitton loafers you was
Louis
rocking? What's going
Vuitton, not
on?
Louis Vuitton. There is a different brand. Christian
Oh,
Louboutin,
okay.
Louis Vuitton. I was trying on some Louis Vuitton loafers as I was shopping for someone else to buy them a gift.
Okay. Okay. Were you also like shopping for someone else when you was looking for that big ass house with the 45
There was
bedrooms and all the
five.
natural
It
light?
was 5 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, and 2 kitchens. Not 45 bedrooms. I'm not living at Rick Ross's estate.
Was Baker going to be your neighbor at that house? Is that why
I'm
you
already in
wanted
a
it?
neighborhood where other players are my neighbor.
All right, guys. So just to wrap this take up, the Browns screwed up the quarterback room, and Tyre is rich. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Are you ready to get on to our next topic, or do you
Oh, we
you want
need
to go more?
Smiles
You
here
want to
to
go more?
really break this
I'm
up. So I'm
killing
gonna
you
let
right
you
now.
have it. I'm gonna
Killing
let
you.
you have it. You're the man.
Killing you.
I'm gonna step back.
Killing you.
Shalom.
All right. So also in news, the Pac-12 is. Would you say it's imploding or exploding? I think it's exploding.
It's
It might be
imploding.
imploding. Anyways, imploding. All right. The Pac-12 is imploding on itself. USC and UCLA are joining the
Big
Big Ten in
West.
2 years. Um, I, I don't. This is just a whole crazy situation. I'm still trying to wrap my whole head around it. Um, hot take: UCLA is just along for the ride, and this and USC leaving is the death nail in the Pac-12, and we're going to see a 30 for 30 about it, like we did the Requiem for the Big East. Would you agree?
I think it's gonna speak more to the NCAA as a whole. So the NCAA is not holding its
Okay.
ground like it used to. It's not a governing body like it used to be. So all of these big schools are looking at the NCAA since that NIL deal, the name, image, and likeness, for those who don't know, for the players to finally get paid, and saying, well, what good are you? Get your
Get
money, players.
money. Get
Anybody that is
money.
worth anything, get as much as you can, as long as they can offer it to you. Don't ever leave the table without getting as
Facts.
much as you can or as much as they agree to pay you. You get paid. Don't feel
Facts.
bad for it.
Facts.
They will move on. They get government assistance for you playing there. They get endorsements for you playing there.
Facts.
You're a student athlete, but you're
Facts.
barely in class because you're working your butts off to be on the field or the field of performance. Don't feel bad. Get as much as you
Facts.
can. Now, back to the question at hand. The NCAA is the reason why the Pac 12 is breaking up. You're going to see other conferences breaking up. You might even see some smaller Division One schools go to these bigger conferences so they can be warm up games.
Ooh, BG
BG in the
in the
Big
Big
Ten.
Ten.
It might be Toledo, but
I'm here
I'm just
for it.
going to
I'm
say
here for it.
BG
I
in the
love it.
Big Ten.
But same thing, like UCLA and USC. If you take Toledo, you
Yeah.
gotta take BG. You just have to.
I mean, it only sounds right.
You just have to. Which, yeah, which is crazy. Like speaking of other conference alignment, North Carolina looking at going to like
Yep.
I think it's the Big 12. Like you can't take
You,
North Carolina and not take Duke
there's no
and North
way.
NC
You have
State.
to pay for both. It's like taking
Yeah,
Jadakiss and Sheik and not taking Styles P. You need all three members of the locks
boom, there it
there.
is. To take it to hip hop. So all right, so another hot take here. I think the Big Ten is going to come for four more schools
Mhm.
in the Pac-12 and Notre Dame in the next year. Those schools being Colorado, Oregon, Stanford, Washington, and then rounded out with Notre Dame. And they might kick Rutgers out, which wouldn't bother me at all. What do
I
you think?
think that Notre Dame, did you say Syracuse? I think
No, I did
Syracuse
not.
is going to be a big get because the reason why the Big Ten got Rutgers was to get that New York market. Q speaks more to New York than Rutgers ever did. I think Q's would be the big get and Notre Dame would be the big get. Washington is a possibility. I can also see a world where the Big Ten gets one of those other teams in the South. I don't know who yet.
Ooh,
I
which
don't know
ones?
where, but I think a Southern team, a Texas Tech, or someone like that can be ripe to get, just so they can get that Southern representation.
That's in, that's interesting. When do you think we get to what's going to end up happening? The two mega conferences. When do you think we get there? Is it by 2030?
Eastern
You
Conference
think
versus Western
20
Conference type thing,
2025?
NFC,
No, 2025.
AFC. Uh, 20,
Essentially, yeah.
27. It takes a few years for these things to defect. So I'll say 2027. Now, unless the
Right.
NCAA finds some way to put their foot down and reestablish their authority, which is getting less and less likely.
So that's like almost impossible from like that Supreme Court ruling. The one thing the Supreme Court finally got right, that they just said, "Hey, you guys have been a monopoly for a long time. Why?" And they said, "Well, because that's just how it is." And they were like,
Mm,
"Yeah, no, this isn't going to work." So they've had to tiptoe their way around this NIL stuff.
crazy.
So they definitely can't do anything with conference realignment. No one cares about your pocket square, sir. Well, is that made out of
Sir, it's
$100
just
bills
silk.
too?
It's
Folded
just silk.
neatly in like
It's
origami.
just silk. Let me just go
Oh,
through the
just
whole thing. Go,
oh, okay.
continue,
You're right.
continue.
Is it freshly woven silk? Freshly woven silk from your maid. I get it. I
Wrong
totally get it,
Clevelander.
man. But yeah, so yeah, shout out to Ant. But yeah, like I was saying, the NCAA is pretty much toothless at this point, and I think the two mega conferences are going to end up governing themselves. I don't know what they're going to call it, and I think when it's all said and done, the NCAA is literally just going to be there for the non-revenue sports to help them kind of move around. Basketball is going to be its own thing. Football is going to be its own thing, and then you're just going to move on from there. Are you done with your pocket square?
Does it look done?
Are you
Does it
are
look
you
done? Does it
are
look
you
done?
are you finished? Or are you done?
Anyways,
I,
so to your point of the NCAA, I think it's going to be null and void. I think it's going to be um, not necessarily what the royalty in England is. It's just going to be a figurehead, right? So what NCAA has
right.
is an established name and an established brand. They can leverage that to these NCAA football games like Madden does for EA Sports, they can do something with that and utilize that as their branding source to still partner with all of these schools, they'll be fine. They still have a multi-billion-dollar brand just in the name alone. No, if you couldn't imagine buying another video game in the future not named NCAA football or NCAA basketball. You couldn't buy another football video game.
So
Hmm?
you're telling me their only branding is based on being able to license out
Yes.
everybody?
Is licensing.
I think we're past. I think we're past that. I think if the two mega conferences got together and just governed themselves, and they said, "Hey, EA, just come pay us," EA would jump at it, and because we're so thirsty for a college football game again, we would just go buy it. The only branding the NCAA has is, "Hey guys, look at us. We've been keeping kids poor for 100 years. Help us keep kids poor." Like, and I think we've all seen through that finally, thank God. And I think once you get to the point where these schools can govern themselves, there's no need for NCAA anymore. No one gives a fuck about that name. The only thing that name is associated with for most college sports fans is how they've dropped the ball, as you like to say, on so many different things. Paying these kids, all the scandals, and like all the things they knew about that were happening in the sport that they only reacted to. They're always acting reactive. That they were never proactive, and that's why they're the fossils they are now. And why I really hope, even before 2027, that whole thing just crumbles down because it's the most useless organization in the history of sports and probably this whole
No,
country,
the
for being
most
honest.
useless. You know what? I'm not gonna. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there. There's another in double A's. Never mind. Um. So NCAA as a brand has the value. Jay Z went on and made billions of dollars after breaking up with Dame Dash and Biggs Burke. Rockefeller still has that brand name to it. They're still fighting over it in court to this day over the ownership of Rockefeller Corporation because it means something over the years. And that was just within a 30-year span. Think of something that has decades upon decades.
But does Rockefeller
You
mean
want a
anything
Rockefeller
now?
chain? You
I've always
so
wanted a
so
Rockefeller
so
chain. The only thing I want
so
more than a
if
Rockefeller chain is
Kareem
a
Biggs
Dipset chain.
Burks, if Damon Dash or Sean Carter presented you with a Rockefeller chain, wouldn't that mean something to you?
Be, be the greatest day of my life, absolutely. But I'm
And
a hip
there
hop
are
nerd though.
NCAA nerds. There are video game nerds. There is a meaning to that brand. I
I'm
understand
telling you.
what you're saying as far as the valuation and the worth, but there is still something to the brand NCAA that is beyond you and I. Because you and I sitting here as black men is one thing, but on a massive scale, the NCAA has a brand to it that people love buying into. They love the purity of it.
So to that same point, at one point in our lives, we could never fathom playing the NBA basketball game that wasn't called
I
live,
could.
right? When's the last time you played NBA live?
NBA Live 2011, I want to say. But I could fathom it. But let me tell you
You played
why I could
live
fathom
11?
it. Because we had NBA Jam, we had NBA Street, all at the same time, and it's still in.
Again, those are not like basketball. Those are not basketball simulation type games. I'm talking. Those are like just arcade style games. You know what I'm talking
Okay,
about. Don't be reductive. When it came to a basketball simulation game, at one point in your life, there was no
double
other option. You
dribble,
couldn't fathom anything
double
besides
dribble.
NBA Live.
Yeah, we're Asian ourselves,
All
people.
right,
We
all
owe,
right,
we owe,
all right,
we
all right.
owe.
He old. I'm in my
You,
prime.
we owe.
He old.
You see
I'm
these
I'm not old.
hairlines? They ain't coming back
I'm not old.
unless this really takes off and we do the Tory Lanez thing and the Tiger
Come
thing.
on.
And I ain't talking OnlyFans.
Hey, matter of fact, while we on the hairline thing, would you ever
No,
get a beard weave?
no.
No. What about for like a movie role? If they said like Tyre, we really like you for this role, We think this character really needs a beard. Would you do a
You
beard
know,
lead
I
for a
can
movie
actually
role?
train my beard to grow if I really wanted to. It's just that I hate hair bumps so much. But okay, in the fictitious world
That's
of
not
a
what I'm
beard
asking you.
weave, you're saying I need to shamar more of my hair like
Yes.
he did for Diary of a Mad Black Woman in order to get this role.
Yes.
Yes, I'll do it.
Yes.
I would do it. I'm not a good actor,
All
but
right.
Tyler
Just
Perry
wondering.
hire me.
I mean, because
Yes. I
I
have
got some connects
I
out there. You know,
definitely
I'm working on
have
some things.
good Christian boy, he got a full-time job vibes. You can Tyler Perry, I am hireable.
Nah, you definitely got that cheating husband from Why Did I Get Married type
I
vibe.
fly my wife
That's
out.
you.
I fly
The
my
one.
girlfriend out while my wife has to drive on the road, and they still meet up
Yep.
at the same
Yep.
spot.
That's you. That's you.
Not in no good way either.
Yep. You the you the husband from No Good Deed. Yeah, the one that was cheating on with Idris Elba's wife, and then
Mm,
he went on that rampage. Yeah, that's you. You
no,
got that
no.
vibe.
I think if we
Yep.
get fans, they will
Sorry.
say
Sorry to say.
I am very Russell Wilson-ish looking as far as oh he's not gonna he I could bring him home to mom. I'm not the one that's oh yeah I'm gonna get yeah it's not me. I wish it was. Don't get me wrong. I prefer the villain role, but I already know my spot in this world.
You want to be that guy?
I
You like
love
being the
being the.
heel? I mean, you do sneak
I
diss me
don't
all the
sneak
time
diss
in the
you. I
group
diss you
chat.
directly. There's a difference. But since we're on sneak diss and you want to get to it,
All right, man.
I mean, we
Now
jump to it.
talk to me.
Sneak
What do you
dissing
got?
is very, very important for the culture. Not just the rap culture, but the culture of the world,
Okay.
period. But the basis of it, sneak dissing, it all started in rap. The best disses ever might have been based off of a sneak diss that we need to address in a real diss. Nas and Jay Z sneak dissing each other for years before Takeover and Ether came out. Huge. Like you can't
Okay.
get away from a good
Okay.
sneak diss. When you hear "Come and Get Me" by Nas on the Nostradamus album, and you hear "Come and Get Me"
Mm-hmm.
from Blueprint, like you,
Yep.
it's tough. Or when you hear Mace on a 112 track, "Love Me," and then you hear Jay Z on Volume 2, just obliterate Mace. It's amazing. When you hear Puffy literally saying that he's gonna make Tupac love him, baby, on the on the
I'm
Life
gonna
After
make you
Death
love.
album,
Yeah.
we know who he was talking about. I'm gonna make you love me, baby. Did he say some
Absolutely.
suspect stuff sometimes? The way he said it at the end too, he turned the vocals off and everything. Sneak dissing is a great
I'm
way
gonna make you love me, baby.
to get to. It's a great marketing tool overall.
Oh yeah, because it gets everybody talking and like I got not a hot take, but a random fact. Did you know that in the early '90s, early to mid late '90s, Fat Joe and Jay Z were sneak dissing each other
Yes,
all throughout their records?
yes, and that's on some street
Yeah,
because
a
Big
lot of people
Pun
did
chased
not know
Jay Z
that.
around that studio with a gun in his hand. He was going to beat the hell out of Jay Z.
Big Pun also slapped Jay Z upside the head with a
Yes,
Cristal bottle too
yes,
in the club.
yeah. Jay Z
The, I think the stories you can get out of New York hip hop are just some
is
great
some of the
stories. They
best
really
ones.
are.
It's some of the best ones. I mean, even Keith Murray. Keith
So
Murray has put hands on a lot of rappers. Keith Murray's the one.
yeah,
Keith Murray. People sleep on
keep
Keith Murray, but yeah, he's the one. MC Hammer, he'll step to you. Y'all better leave some of these rappers that people be laughing at. Y'all better leave them alone.
MC Hammer was the
That was
real
him
street
and his
dude.
brother.
Real street dude.
From to my understanding,
When he got to death
I
row and
got it.
everybody didn't get it, those of us
I
who knew
got it.
they
As a
got
kid,
it. Like, oh, he the
as a
toughest
kid,
person
even
in
I
that
knew back
building.
then that's a dangerous one. The one that don't say anything on the albums.
Hammer
Yeah.
don't hurt him. Um, what's your favorite sneak
Favorite
diss of all
sneak
time?
diss.
Yes.
Ride or Die by Jay Z.
Ooh, okay, okay. Not mad at that one. I'm gonna keep it classic, and I'm gonna just go "Who Shot You," because no matter what Big said, that was a sneak diss. That was talking to a nigga who was talking greasy, and he asked that question, "Who shot you?" You don't know. You might want to. You don't know for certain, so you might want to calm down.
I will go more
It was
LL's "Who Shot You"
great.
on the remix. Because
Okay.
not only was LL spitting
Okay. I'm not mad at
at
that.
whoever he was spitting at, but he was spitting at rappers on that same song with him.
Yeah.
Like he heard Foxy Brown's verse,
Oof.
and he
What?
really little sneak this in there. He's like female rappers too. I don't give a boo. He don't like other people
Yeah.
rapping on
Why?
his albums, but yeah, he invites all
Why
of
was?
them
Yeah. Why was LL so
because that's
angry in
how
the late
the
'90s?
culture was. Gotta remember, LL's 15 years deep at this time
Right. But why was he so angry? He was
because
already rich. It made sense in '98 why DMX was angry. He had like 28 years of anger stored up. I'll be barking too. But L was
let
15
me
years in. He
explain
was already
something.
rich. He was
Let
deep
me
as blue
explain
as my head
something
as
to
a
you.
Shark fan.
For LL Cool J to be a lady lover, it's the same thing Chris Brown's gone through now, where people think, oh, he's just this, he's just that, is oh, he's cute, he's this, that, and other. He ain't going. You got to keep an edge to yourself. Chris Brown has just now calmed down from that edge. LL Cool J wanted to keep that
That was
edge
a
up
fire.
because back in the 90s, the thing to be was hardcore. LL had Hey Lover on the same album that he had Who
But
Shot You.
even but even when like the shiny suit era started, LL still seemed kind of angry. Even Headsprung is
No,
angry.
because remember when the Chinese suit era started, he wanted to get his little freaky thing on, so he went more in the freaky role with Phenomenon and all that stuff. Yeah, and
Something like a
Puff
phenomenon.
produced that track.
That was a banger. I forgot about
And he
that one.
kept giving
Of
shots of
course he did.
cannabis, even on that my favorite LL song, and nobody talks about it. Shut him down on the Any Given Sunday soundtrack. He kept sending shots at
Ooh.
cannabis after that time. He just you want to battle nigga now talk shit.
That's
Like he was going at him.
so. All right. Better question. While we're on the topic of LL and cannabis, why after losing a battle to LL did cannabis think it was a good idea to go at Eminem? Is that is that like the worst misstep in the rap
Well, I
career
mean,
ever?
it's like when Isaiah Thomas was losing the bird and he wanted to go straight for Mike.
Well, Isaiah has a winning record against Mike
And
Bird
people will
and
say that
Magic.
cannabis
If we're
has a
being
winning record
honest,
against LL.
who
People will
who's
hip
people?
hop heads. If you really sit down and you turn off
Who
these microphones and there's no one in front of you and you listen to Second Round Knockout, people will say that
who's people?
is, sec- is Second Round
People that
Knockout
don't
better
go
than
outside.
what was the name of LL's disc record to Cannabis? What what's the name of
Which
it?
one?
What was the name of the direct response to Cannabis? But you can remember
I can't
Second Round
remember it off
Knockout
the
off
top
the
of my
tip of
head
your
right now.
tongue. You know why? Because
Cannabis ain't got no records, so yeah.
so you can remember Ether.
So you're telling me that cannabis won
I'm
that
not
beef.
saying he won it. I think LL won it, but there are people, true hip hop heads,
Okay.
that will say that Cannabis won just off Second Round Knockout. There are people out there that
Okay.
Ether and Takeover, for whatever reason, people still think Jay-Z might have won that battle. He didn't. See? See, and I don't think he
Right
did.
here.
There are
Right here.
people.
See, and you don't see that here. That's the problem. People compare Ether to Takeover. On Takeover, Hove gave Nas what, a verse
You
and a
don't
half,
say
and then
my
Nas gave him
name.
5 minutes.
Who
The
do you think you
the
are? You do not
songs you compare
say my name,
are Ether and
period.
Blueprint
You
Two.
know who I am. I am
No,
Nas. I
no.
am
The songs
Nas.
you're supposed
My
to
name
compare.
was born Nas. I will
No,
die
no.
Nasir Jones. Your name to me is a gimmick off another nigga. Don't you ever say my name again. Ever. Don't you talk about me.
No.
You don't have the right.
The
And then
song
you
you
take.
compare to Ether should be Blueprint 2. The song you compare to
And I
Ether should be
agree if
Blueprint 2.
Blueprint 2
Time to
dropped.
unleash the flutes on them.
But
It
what
did. It
happened?
came
What
out. It
happened?
was on an album.
What happened? You threw a
See?
shitty. You
Oh,
threw a
wait.
shitty left
It's the
hook.
same hip hop.
You
Those
threw a
same hip
shitty
hop
left
heads, right?
hook called Super Ugly that everybody saw. That
Super
shit was
Ugly
some
was great
bullshit. You ain't
too.
heard that since it came out. No, you don't.
I still listen
No,
to
you
it.
don't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When's the last time you heard it?
Yeah.
You know, Spotify keeps a record of these things.
Maybe a couple weeks ago.
You know, YouTube keeps a record of these things. We can look at your phone and look at your history.
I gotta download it.
When's the last time you heard it, Dub? Name the first 3 bars off that album, off that track.
Super
That's
Ugly,
it.
Literally.
You know why?
I don't remember the lyrics of that song.
You know why?
I just remember.
That's all you remember.
Baby seat. You know.
That's all.
You and me and the homie A. I got more in common.
That's all you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
That's all. You don't say my name. You give me 1 bar. If a nigga punch you in your mouth right now, what you doing, Doug? Why?
Throwing him off the building.
You don't touch me, nigga.
Because you
don't touch me. You don't put your fucking hands on me.
Is it?
You don't touch me.
Is it Uchi Wally or is it One Mike? Is it Black Girl Lost?
Is it Jigging the J, Jigging the A, Jigging the Y,
I've been
Z?
real all my life.
Or is it my story? Or is it my poetry that got you into the flow that you got now? I am Nas.
See y'all.
I am Nas.
I will not lose. They try to help him cheat.
Jay-Z is a king in hip hop. He was crowned on Blueprint. Don't get that twisted. But Nas is the oracle of hip hop. There are certain people you don't touch. When King Leonidas went up to the oracles and say, should he go to war against the Persians? If King Leonidas threw a bow at one of those oracles, King 300 would have been over with. Nas is the oracle of hip hop. Is Nas, is Snoop,
first of all,
and is Rakim. You don't mess with those 3. You don't touch them. Those guys are naturally them, and you don't go dissing them.
First of all, do not disrespect Hov by calling him a king. He is the God MC. And you
now, I'm talking 2000, 2001. It was written, I am Nostradamus. He is Illmatic. He proved he's still Matic. He's the guy. You don't do it to him. You don't do it. You let him be great on his own side. I don't care if you slept with his baby mama, his whoever, or any other female that he's associated with. Don't say my name. What you got? What do you got to say his name for?
Blueprint 2 is better than Ether. Blueprint 2.
If it came, it was poorly delivered.
Jay fucked his baby moms, and then he signed the nigga. I'm gonna beat you in this rap beef, and then when your career's on the brink, I'm gonna sign you. You're welcome. I'm gonna bring you on stage at my tour. I sold out the Garden in a day. You know who couldn't do that? You, nigga. As you can tell, I really want this Rockefeller chain.
Nas, I ain't gonna cap. I wanted to. Hey, Jay-Z.
But all right, y'all.
Look, as much as you lost that battle, I want a Rockefeller chain too. But at the end of the day, there's certain people you don't mess with. It's like watching Riddick Bowe back in the day taking on Evander Holyfield. It's like watching Holyfield take on Mike Tyson.
Okay.
Tyson's Tyson. But when he got in that ring with a real fighter, you saw what a real fighter will do to you. It'll get you shook. Tyson's one of the most skilled, trained athletes ever. As soon as a real one get in front of you, and you get shook up, you start biting off ears, you start saying some random shit. That's what Super Ugly was. It was a bite on the fucking ear. From somebody who shouldn't be biting on ears. Get in that motherfucker and box him. Fight that man head up. So that's what you do.
How's Evander Holyfield doing right now?
See, and that's where we go to. Right now? That's where we go to. We ain't talking about boxing no more. We
Who's
gotta talk
winning?
about
Who's
shit. We gotta talk
who
about the
really
other
won?
shit.
Who really won? But I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Some guys are just goaded, like our homie Jimmy
Oh
Garoppolo, as we were
man,
saying
that
earlier,
man,
who
that man's the goat of all goats.
the very first move he made when he got to San Francisco was knock down a porn star.
No, not a
You gotta
porn
clap him
star.
up. I mean,
One of the porn stars.
the you're right. You're right.
Is one
You're
of
right. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
the
not gonna lie. I knew who she
adult
was,
entertainers.
and then but I was like, damn, Jimmy got her.
It's not
And
like
then
he
I
just
kind of,
went out.
I was like, damn, Jimmy got her. And then I
Yeah,
ended up in a rabbit
it's
hole
one of those.
of
Like it's one of
videos.
those.
Yeah, performer, performance
It's
art is what
performative
she
arts
does.
of the
Is what she
adult
does, if you
spectrum.
will. Tari, tell the people what Zach Wilson got into and why
My
he is
mic
now
sound nice.
goaded and has already won the MVP of next year.
Zach Wilson and the New York Jets are gonna be great this year, and I just want to say, Zach Wilson, anytime that I ever didn't believe in you, I like to take that back. I didn't know you had that type of poise. That means that if you can handle what you're handling right now, you can handle these dumb 290-pound motherfuckers coming at you at 4.2, 4.5 miles, 4.5 seconds in the 40-yard dash. And I do apologize for my take on you. I didn't know you had that in you, playboy. Zachary Wilson, the second best off-field goal quarterback in the league, got into it with his ex-girlfriend. And then his ex-girlfriend is now dating his boy. Now let's break that down for a second. People think that the ex-girlfriend left him for his boy, but in my opinion, I bet you Zach was like, yo, you might want to, yo, my dude, like I'm done with her. She's still fine. And let me tell you,
Hey,
she
what did the great Snoop Dogg say?
unless the
It
homies
ain't
eat
no
none.
fun.
I just want to say that
There
was
it
a
is.
GOAT move into itself. Then a second move that I didn't get to text you was that he got to take two BYU cheerleaders to his senior prom. The rumor is spreading as we speak.
Oh,
Two cheerleaders, one
oh,
prom. Zachary Wilson. He's
what a
Zach Morris from Saved by the
what a
Bell
guy. What a
2.0
guy.
and just out here. And he can also play football like AC Slater. He's the man. He's the man. And then to top all of it,
What a guy.
ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. He's been looking at this for probably 15 years of his life. Ever since he came of age, his mom's best friend would come over and sip mimosas and mint juleps and enjoy scalloped potatoes, perhaps some stovetop stuffing. And there was some other stuffing that Zachary would like to do. And Zachary's now stuffing that stovetop. He's MILF Hunter
Round of
101.
applause for that, man.
He's not 2, 3, 4, or 5 or to KRS1. He is Zachary Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, he is second goated all time off the field behind Jimmy Garoppolo. Broadway Joe has
What a
to
guy.
be saluting him right now. He's the new Broadway Joe. Broadway Zach. He's Broadway Zach. He's Jersey
There it
Zach.
is.
He's New Jersey
There it
Zach.
is. There it is.
MetLife Insurance.
There it is. That's how I can. That's how I know the Jets are going to have a good year because Zach Wilson got that dog in him. He got that dog
No,
in him.
he's dogging them.
He said, "I'm gonna get
He
mine."
dogging them. Yep.
He said, "I'm gonna get mine. You better get yours. I gotta get
Zach
mine."
Wilson. Zach.
Oh,
I'm married. See, I'm married, but
we salute you. We salute you, sir. We salute you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 1 of Naw Fam, your favorite debate show already. Hit that like, subscribe, comment button. Let us know how much I own Tare in this argument today. And Tare, do you want to put your social medias out there
I
for the
don't
people
have
to
social
follow you,
media
or
for you to
you
follow
still
me.
incognito?
I don't have a cell phone. I don't have a phone number. Don't none of you oh, I can't cuss on here. Don't none of y'all call me. Please don't. No,
You can
I'm
cuss.
calm
It's
now.
fine. It's fine.
Zach Wilson is calm, has relaxed. Zach Wilson
no.
has that type of presence in the pocket and the presence in the huddle to say, Tyree, relax. I got this. And Zach, I trust.
You got this? All right. There it is. Well, if you guys are looking for me, you can follow me at ADUB1220 on all social media. Every Tuesday, my original podcast, Embrace the Turn Up, is out with my homie John. And every Friday, Let Me Book the Territory, the greatest wrestling podcast of all time, with my homie E-Ray, my homie J-Mo, and my homie B.A. is out there.
And don't get it twisted. I'm a huge wrestling fan too. But Zach Wilson has finally got me not talking about wrestling right now.
Wrestling.
I'm going to look into more of these tweets.
Don't worry.
I'm sorry. Aaron, continue. I apologize about that, Dubster.
Totally fine, buddy. Totally fine. Great first episode, sir. I am so proud of you. Thank you for joining me. Next week, we'll have more hot takes on hip-hop and sports, and we might fit some wrestling in, too, because I know how much you love to talk about your homie Triple H.
Fuck Triple H as a staff, Triple H and as a motherfucking crew. And if you want to be down with him, fuck you, too. Stephanie, fuck you, too.
All right, y'all. There's your mic drop moment.
Fuck you, too.
And we are out. Peace.